Right now at 10, making firearm safety more accessible. How one Madison man is educating people at no cost. In protesting cuts by the federal government, the demonstration by veterans outside of the state capitol today. Plus, the Badgers move ahead in the Big Ten tournament. We'll have the reaction from fans after the big win against UCLA. That's all coming up tonight on News 3 Now at 10. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Sarah Carlson. Eric Franke will be back next week. We begin tonight with a look at your forecast right away. We're still tracking some possible severe weather. Chief Meteorologist Alex Harrington joins us now with the very latest.
Yeah, Sarah, we've been watching this First Warn weather team all evening. We are not out of the woods yet. It doesn't look very impressive right now on radar 3000 as showers and embedded thunderstorms move into southwest Wisconsin. But as we take a look at our wind tracker tool and just do a quick viewing of our winds around 50 miles per hour, if not upwards of 55 miles per hour over the western part of Grant County. In fact, in Potosi, they had a 53 mile per hour wind gust just moments ago, and this line is moving off towards the east at roughly 45 to 50 miles per hour. So communities that are going to be in the path of right now, it's sub-severe damaging winds, but close. Lancaster in just about 2 minutes, Shullsburg at 10:17, Darlington by the time we get to 10:25 and roughly 10:30 as we head towards the Mineral Point area a little bit later at the end of our newscast. We have more showers, more thunderstorms that have a history of producing winds in excess of 70 miles per hour coming up out of Iowa. There have been over 100 reports of storm reports across the state of Iowa and Missouri. So again, we're not out of the woods, and just in right now, the Storm Prediction Center in collaboration with the National Weather Service in Milwaukee, not just a severe watch is possible, a severe thunderstorm watch will be issued shortly for areas from the Wisconsin-Illinois border north to Columbia County that may be coming in momentarily here. Still severe thunderstorm watch in southwest Wisconsin till 1 a.m., 2 a.m. just south of the Wisconsin-Illinois border, but a severe thunderstorm watch will be issued shortly for the rest of southern Wisconsin. Future track shows why. Here's that line of thunderstorms and embedded showers moving through the area as we carry forth from the late evening hours. That whole line will get to Madison right around midnight or 1 o'clock and then exit the area as we get to approximately 2 a.m. The main threats, again, damaging winds in excess of 60 miles per hour. Won't be surprised to see an isolated 70 mile per hour wind gust. And right now we can see what's going on in Platteville where that line is approaching shortly. Just looking to see if the camera's moving around here as those gusty winds approach the Platteville area. I don't see that at this point in time. But coming up in Maine weather, we will give you a fresh look at radar 3000, and we'll probably have more information from the National Weather Service and the Storm Prediction Center on that forthcoming severe thunderstorm watch that looks to be issued.
Sounds good. Thank you, Alex. A Wisconsin college student says his friend's quick thinking saved his life after he suddenly went into cardiac arrest. Back in October, Humberto Barraza thought that he was just practicing a dance routine in his Concordia University, Wisconsin dorm. But suddenly he was in cardiac arrest and seizing. That's when Aiden Batalina performed CPR until first responders got there. So without Aiden, things would have been very different. This week, Humberto returned to school for a ceremony that honored him, his friend, and the first responders.
So I flatlined 3 times in total, but I'm good now. I'm okay now. Heart's beating, everything's fine. You hear about it, right, on TV, but you don't really think about, well, if this happened to me, who would come and help? Everybody, apparently.
And Humberto found out that he has Wolff-Parkinson-White syndrome, which causes his heart to beat abnormally fast. Doctors expect him to make a full recovery, and Humberto will return to school in the fall. One person is hospitalized after a chemical spill in Waunakee this morning. Madison Fire says it is investigating this spill at Saya Trucking after reports of chemicals leaking from the back of a trailer. The reaction occurred when the chemicals came into contact with the bumper of the trailer, creating vapors and heat reaching 115 degrees. The spill is contained now, but a 300-foot safety perimeter has been established to keep people out of the area. A Madison nonprofit is working to expand access to free and inclusive firearms safety classes. Blake Alvendera is the executive director of the Forward Initiative. Now, the last time we talked with him, he was passing out free gun locks at the farmers market and also teaching his classes in small spaces. But Madison Kung Fu stepped in, offering Alvendera bigger space to expand his reach.
Now we have more classes available than ever, and we're able to offer them consistently on the same days of the week. People always suggest like libraries and things like that, but when dealing with serious topics like firearms and life-saving skills, we really need a dedicated space where people can feel comfortable.
So if you're interested in signing up for a class or donating, you can head to theforwardinitiative.org. Wisconsin could be ditching daylight saving time if a new proposed bill passes the state legislature. Representatives Nate Gustafson and Rachel Cabral Guevara introduced a bill to eliminate the practice. Now, they say it leads to workplace injuries, traffic accidents, and is overall bad for mental health and productivity in adults and kids. But one clock repair shop owner says the change is unlikely to happen.
I have heard that before, that they were going to do that along with the metric system. We were going to change that too. So I wouldn't hold your breath for either one of them.
So if the bill passes, it would take effect next January 1st. Well, Wisconsin's Department of Public Instruction is launching a new website to track the impact of federal funding cuts. The DPI says the tool is available on its website and includes updates on current funding cuts at the federal level, along with an interactive map that allows the public to view district specific data. There's also personalized one-page flyers for each Wisconsin district. Those can be found at the bottom page of the website. Today, dozens of disabled veterans took to the state capitol to protest cuts to the Department of Veterans Affairs. Last week, a memo from the department revealed that it was planning to cut more than 80,000 jobs. This is on top of the 1,400 federal VA employees laid off already as part of the Trump administration's cut to the federal government's probationary workforce. We spoke to demonstrators today who say they are fighting not only for themselves, but also the veterans of the future.
There's going to be a lot more veterans giving all the military actions we've been involved in for the last 20 years, and they're going to need a lot of follow-up benefits for emotional situations and physical, or both, problems. I think it's just the tip of the iceberg about the growing concern about these kind of cuts and cuts to other programs, Department of Education, Health and Human Services, and so forth.
VA department heads and human resources officials are conducting a sweeping review of employees. Their plan on how to cut and reorganize the workforce will be submitted by April 13th. Well, the race for Wisconsin Supreme Court continues with candidates Susan Crawford and Brad Schimmel running to replace retiring Justice Ann Walsh Bradley. This week we saw the first and only debate among these two candidates, and striking scenes inside as all of the sitting Supreme Court justices were in attendance. News 3 was able to ask retiring Justice Ann Walsh Bradley about what kind of justice she wants to see replace her on the bench.
The kind of justice that the people of Wisconsin not only want but deserve. Fair, impartial, hardworking, keen intellect, understands what it means to be a person of this state with the values that represent this state.
Justice Ann Walsh Bradley is among the liberal majority on the court right now. She is endorsing the liberal candidate Susan Crawford in the race. Now, we talked with her about the race as well as some of the attacks against the current court. And you can see more on this coming up Sunday morning at 10:30 on For the Record. Badger fans are celebrating tonight after the men's basketball team beat UCLA in today's Big Ten tournament matchup. Yesterday, Wisconsin beat Northwestern, and fans said that outcome was a no-brainer. But today, they were not as certain. Exciting, though. We spoke to a couple of excited fans who traveled from Oconomowoc to watch the game on campus.
Big W's, big W's. Just how we're playing? Bro, yeah, I mean, they're good, but we're better. No, if we play the way we're playing today, we got this easily.
This team's easily going to the national championship. John Tonje is best player in the nation. John Blackwell, great second option. The way John Tonje is playing right now, I don't think anybody in the nation can stop us. And we're hitting our threes, so I am not too worried.
Pretty confident. Wisconsin is set to face off against Michigan State tomorrow, and we will have the highlights from today's game later on News 3 Now at 10. And still to come on News 3 Now, Alex has more on the potential severe weather coming to the region. Plus, a partial government shutdown is averted. Why the decision has Democrats divided. Stay with us.
You're watching News 3 Now at 10.
Welcome back. The Senate voted to avoid a partial government shutdown by passing a bill that funds federal agencies until September. But as Erica Brown reports, the decision has divided Democrats.
The yeas are 54, the nays are 46. The bill is passed.
The Senate passed a 6-month spending bill, averting a partial government shutdown just hours before the midnight deadline. Senate Democrats were faced with the difficult decision to either vote to advance the Republican spending bill that pushes President Trump's agenda or risk a shutdown. Thursday, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer reversed course, announcing his support for the temporary spending bill known as a continuing resolution.
The CR is a bad bill. But as bad as the CR is, I believe allowing Donald Trump to take even much more power via a government shutdown is a far worse option.
The bill now heads to President Trump's desk to be signed into law.
And I appreciate Senator Schumer, and I think he did the right thing. Really, I'm very impressed by that.
Some Democrats have sharply criticized support for the bill and pressured Democratic senators to vote against the measure.
This bill is to establish a slush fund for Elon Musk and Donald Trump, and it sets the stage for cutting Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security.
Congress has been unable to pass annual appropriations bills. Instead, lawmakers have been relying on short-term extensions like this one.
We're voting on yet another continuing resolution today because last year's Democrat majority pushed off full-year appropriations again and again.
The measure increases defense spending by $6 billion and cuts non-defense spending by about $13 billion. Erica Brown, CBS News, Washington.
In Australia, an American tourist is being pressured to leave after snatching a baby wombat from its mother. Unbelievable. Look at this. Australians were outraged, with many calling for this Montana tourist to be kicked out of the country. You can see video of it. The Australian government threatened to cancel her visa. And this influencer, known as Sam Jones, locked down her social media, calling the act a mistake. Now, animal rights groups are urging her to reveal where she was when she grabbed that wombat so they can ensure the baby is reunited with its mother. And now turning to weather, there was a lot of severe weather on the way, and we're looking at some warnings now, Alex.
Yes, indeed, Sarah. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning now that is in effect until 10:45 p.m. This is for Greene, the southern part of Iowa County and Lafayette County. This is radar indicated winds to 60 miles per hour. Communities that are in the path of this leading line of showers with embedded thunderstorms, which don't have any lightning, by the way. Apple River at 10:12 p.m., Belmont at 10:16 p.m., Wyoda at 10:23 p.m., Linden at 10:26, Mineral Point just before the end of our newscast, and then getting to New Glarus just after our newscast at 10:41 p.m. Right now, you need to seek a sturdy shelter right now in Iowa, Lafayette, and Greene counties. Stay away from windows. Again, not seeing any lightning on the leading edge of this line of thunderstorms, and the good news is not expecting at this point in time the tornado threat is very, very low. So seek a sturdy shelter if you're not already in Iowa, Lafayette, and Greene counties. And winds of this caliber right now, 50 to 60 miles per hour. We can be looking at some damage to trees, roofs, siding, and we want to take this very, very seriously. Of course, it is nighttime, and again, we're not seeing any lightning, so you're not really getting any indicator other than watching us right here now on Channel 3 to know that a storm is on the way for Iowa, Greene, and Lafayette counties. Right now, severe thunderstorm watches in effect. I said that there would be one issued for the rest or a good portion of southern Wisconsin. That is now in effect until 4 a.m. That's for Columbia, Dane, Greene, Iowa, Lafayette, Rock, and Sauk counties. And for the southeastern part of our viewing area over towards Dodge and Jefferson and Walworth counties. So this line of thunderstorms and embedded showers as well is not complete yet across southern Wisconsin. Radar 3000 showing that stretching from Prairie du Chien to Platteville, moving north and east with a history of winds of 50, 60, 70 miles per hour. We even have had 80 mile per hour winds reported in Iowa. Let's track this now with Future Track here, showing that line of thunderstorms moving through rapidly with that arc figure. Again, that arc figure is an indication of strong damaging winds on that leading edge, reaching Madison here right around midnight, Dells and areas over towards Watertown by 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. And then that should end the severe weather threat threat across southern Wisconsin. The main threat, of course, is still strong winds, not in that extreme category, but more along the lines of 60 to 70 miles per hour, which again, I just showed you, could cause some damage to structures and trees. And we want to take this again quite seriously. Our first warn weather cam here showing movement, of course, in Dodgeville. It's windy outside, and we expect those gusty winds maybe approaching 50 to 60 miles per hour, reaching just the tail end here of our Dodgeville cam here, perhaps as soon as the end of our newscast. This is not the only alert day that we're working through. Tomorrow, we have alert day as well. Winds are going to stay strong tomorrow, gusting upwards of 50 miles per hour. This is for really all of southern Wisconsin through Saturday afternoon. We can track that with future track showing wind gusts starting off in the morning, strong out of the south between 40 to 45 miles per hour. And as we head into the afternoon, we could be looking at wind gusts 40 to 50, maybe even isolated 60 mile per hour wind gust, which is actually the threshold of severe weather criteria. Just no thunderstorms. These are wind gusts tomorrow that again mean business, with those winds easing up just a touch as we get into Saturday night going into the first part of Sunday. After alert day number 2 on Saturday, just want to give you a first warn here on Wednesday of next week. Rain changing over to wet snow. We could be looking at accumulation and strong winds. And we'll keep folks up to date on this current line of thunderstorms moving through southern Wisconsin with severe thunderstorm warnings right now for southern Iowa, Greene, and Lafayette counties.
And coming up in sports, it's on to Championship Saturday. How Edgewood knocked off Rice Lake with ease in Green Bay. That's next on News 3 Now. They say revenge is a dish best served cold, but the Badgers were red hot in their quarterfinal matchup with the Bruins. Remember, Wisconsin lost at UCLA back in January, and that's a game they left LA thinking they should have won. Well, it's UCLA's first ever Big Ten tournament appearance, and Wisconsin was a welcoming host, putting on a 3-ball party. John Tonje says, "Give me all 3 of those plus 1. The 4-point play puts the Badgers up 9. Tonje hit 4 triples in the first half. As a team, they made 12 in the first 20 minutes. Here's another. Death taxes and a corner 3 from Kamari McGee. Badgers led by 19 at the break, and it was all over from there. Second half now, Tonje dials another one up. He finished with a game-high 26 and made UCLA's coach look like that. Badgers blow out the Bruins to advance to the semifinals. They'll face Michigan State. Andrew Banstra has more from Indy.
At a point during Wisconsin's win today, I almost had to grab an umbrella because it was raining threes here in Indianapolis. The Badgers tied a Big Ten tournament record, knocking down 19 triples, and were led by John Tonje, who was a perfect 6 for 6 from beyond the arc and scored 25 points before missing a single shot.
So Tonje takes the ball, hits a 3, and 1.
I was just trying to be aggressive, and it was, today was competition, and it was just fun to be out here with these guys. So I wasn't too focused on the stat sheet at the moment. I was just kind of looking at the score of the game and the flow of the game, and I think, today was just pretty good.
If I would have known he didn't miss a shot, I would have not let him take that last shot. But, when he's scoring like that and we're just feeding off it and his energy's high, it's just all good for the team.
I think he's playing his best basketball of the season right now, and when he's knocking shots down like that, it kind of opens things up for us other guys, and we got to take advantage of it like we did today. And like I said, credit to him for his consistency, and he's playing great.
It's just a credit to him, the work he puts in. He's the first guy in every day, last guy to leave. So it's not by accident, we know that. And just super proud of him, super happy for him. And if he can continue to do that down the stretch, I think we'll be all right.
And he still hasn't missed. 6 of 6.
I asked Carter Gilmore after the game if the Badgers will spend any time celebrating this one, and he told me they were already done celebrating, adding winning 2 games is cool, but it means nothing without that trophy. At Gamebridge Fieldhouse, Andrew Banstra, News 3 Sports.
High school girls basketball, Edgewood won it all in Division III last year. They're back this year in Division II and made quick work of Rice Lake thanks to Abby Miller. She shakes and bakes her way in for 2 of her game-high 22. She also grabbed 6 boards and dished out 6 assists. Here's one of them to Erin Schauer. 13 points for her as Edgewood heads back to Championship Saturday with a 52-30 win. Well, down in Division 5, Barneveld back at state for the first time since 2016, taking on Lourdes Academy in the semifinals, and this quickly became the Isabel Durst show. First half, she dials one up from deep for one of her 6 threes. That puts the Golden Eagles up 5, and that lead would grow in the second half. This time, it's Durst again, and she takes it to the cup for 2 of her game-high 28. Barneveld moves on with a 41-28 win. We're back after this.
Colbert's got Al Roker and Monica Lewinsky.
Thankfully, people stopped coming up to me saying, "No offense, do you know who you look like?"
CBS tonight.
Well, today is March 14th. Those digits, 314, make it National Pie Day. Not pie as apple pie or pizza pie, but pi as in the mathematical constant 3.14, represented by the Greek letter pi. It's the ratio of a circle's circumference to its diameter. According to nationaldaycalendar.com, the first major observance of Pi Day was back in 1988 at the San Francisco Exploratorium. And now we turn for one final check on the weather. Lots of warnings out there to be looking forward to, Alex.
Yeah, that's correct, Sarah. Severe thunderstorm continues. This is observed. 60-mile-per-hour winds have been observed in the Platteville area, and this is moving off towards the north and towards the east at a very fast speed, 65 miles per hour. This brings us into Perry at 10:45 p.m., New Glarus after 10:45 p.m., Broadhead at 10:52. If this severe thunderstorm holds itself together, we'll be moving into the Madison area as we get between the 11 o'clock hour and the midnight hour. And right now in Platteville, we see rain on the camera, not seeing it moving about too much, but again, we did have observed winds of nearly 60 miles per hour. So southern Iowa County, Greene, and Lafayette counties, you need to seek sturdy shelter right now as this storm is on your heels as we speak. Blaze, Buddy, and I will be here all night tracking the storms.